Welcome back everybody to my channel. Hi, I'm Rizbo the Blade, your personal mining guru, and today we're gonna talk about mining missions in patch 4.6. Reason why I'm making this video is because I recently reached the elite contractor rank, which is the highest rank in the mining missions for Shubin Interstellar company. And because of that, I decided to explain you a few very important things about this ranking up and how this works. It's three big things what I need to explain. First thing, recently we have a Star Citizen live podcast with developers, answering the questions. And in this podcast, they explained that they want to do multiple ways how you can, finish these mining missions, especially ship mining missions. So players have more options how they want to do them. But this is very, very bad thing to do it like that. So what is happening now is that players figure out that they can just buy refined ores as a commodities and they can deliver in the mission on designated spot, where the mission says, and this is how you finish the mission. So it's completely removing mining from that mission. And this is mining missions. So we're supposed to mine, right? It's supposed to force people to mine. It's supposed to force people to grind for mining ships. It's supposed to force people to get some rewards from this through mining, not through hauling. We don't need hauling. We already have hauling in the game. We don't have second version of hauling, right? But what is the most important thing is that if you do it that way, you're normally losing money. But now in 4.6 patch and also before, most people have huge amount of money going in millions, billions, trillions, if you want to say gazillions, and people don't care because they can just pay and just keep ranking up that way. That's why this is a very big mistake from CIG to do it that way. Normally, you cannot do it for all ranks till the highest, right? But for majority of these levels in ranking, you can do it that way. And that's why this is very, very bad thing. To do that correctly, our mission is supposed to end in refineries, not in spots where you can sell already refined ore. It just make no sense. We don't need that whole procedure what we're doing in normal traditional mining. We just need to mine and deliver the rough ore, not refined ore. This is not connection to mining. It's just ridiculous. So basically what that means is you can reach head contractor with just doing hauling of refined materials which you can buy, right? And then when you get into head contractor rank, then you actually need to mine ores which are Ceruleum, Stellaron, Receipt and Continuum, which it's not possible to buy anywhere. Maybe, from players, yes, but not from the game. And this is how it's supposed to be all ranks, through the whole ranking for Shubin Interstellar, not just for last two, which is just ridiculous thing. So this is about this first thing. So now we're gonna talk about second thing. And second thing is that biggest question. Are these missions worth it to do for money, for your income? And the answer on that is with big letters, no. At least not in 4.6 patch. So why is that like that? If we look traditional mining and compare it to the missions mining, the rewards which you get in money are for 1/4 or 1/3 smaller than you would doing it this all mining traditionally, mining, refining, delivering and selling on any place. And this is if we include smallest value in prices, not the biggest ones. It's already bigger money you get for traditional mining with a smaller value for prices for all these, ores. And because of that, it makes no sense whatsoever to do these missions to make money. So let's say if we don't have this big inflation in game, it's wiped and everybody's starting fresh, it's just no point to do these missions to make money, because you're gonna make more money with doing traditional mining without missions, right? So it doesn't make sense. Because of that reason, now in 4.6 patch, nobody wants to do these mining missions because they see the numbers, they see the calculations. And when you mine, you strictly mine for profit, because it's the biggest job that you can do in Star Citizen, what is concerned, industrial things. And nobody's gonna, spend that time to make less. It's just not going to happen. Let's show you like 2 examples so you guys gonna see for yourself with your own eyes, how much less you're getting and why this is so ridiculous. To show you that, we're gonna take this mission where it says large purchase order, ship mined ore, and it's 237k as a money reward. And on the right side, you can see all the materials. So 5 of these materials are tier 2 materials and 5 of them are tier 3 materials, right? So half of them are a little bit more valuable than other 5. But this last valuable one, you need to deliver 24 SU, and more valuable one, you need to deliver 10 SU. And the advantage doing it to the mission is just one thing, and this is that you need to deliver them all in one place. And you can see here it says spaceport in area 18. That's the only advantage. You don't have to, roam around and deliver on different kinds of spots. So if you put the smallest value, right, where you're gonna be paid the smallest amount of money, where you're gonna deliver these ores in normal traditional mining, now I pull these all prices here and you can see how much you can get for this amount of SU. And if you put that all together, the price is 317k. So it's already, right, for some, let's say 80k more for the lowest payouts if we compare to traditional mining. But now if we put all these prices for the highest value where you can, deliver all this, then this is the prices. And now if we put, all that prices together, we're getting this amount, and this is 554k. And the mission reward is 237k. So this is why people don't want to do that, because you're getting basically double for the highest payouts if you would do traditional mining without the mission, right? Yes, the truth is that you need to deliver this to different spots, but this is still double amount of money. So what's the point to do this? And like we said before, so basically for the money is no point to do it. We're gonna show you one more example. Now what you can see here, this is for the 2 last highest rank missions, and they're the same on the both ranks, right? So you're not getting new missions on the full last rank. And this is where you can, deliver Ceruleum, Contanium, Steeleron, and Receipt. And I was doing for Contanium, and I was delivering that to Levski. So if you see, the mission reward is 308k. The reward for traditional mining, if you would just deliver, right, without the mission, would be just a little bit over 304k. So let's say 305k. So it's just 3k under actual reward through the playing it through the mission, right? But if we put that for the highest price, the reward is just a little bit over 377k. So it's again more doing it without the mission, and this time we just have one ore delivered to one place. So here, this doing it through the traditional mining is actual advantage, because you don't have to deliver on the different kinds of spots. but still this reward is just 308k. So we're losing basically 70k on each mission because just we want to do it through the mission, right? So it's not worth it to do it for the money. So let's say if I was wanting to make more money, this actual mission needs to give around 414 or 415k, which is 10% more from 377. Then this is value, then this is, actually worth it to do in the terms of money, right? In the terms of income. Otherwise, it's not. Because if mission is 308k and you can get 377k, so basically 70k more through traditional mining, if I do these 10 missions, if we had the normal, conditions in the game without this big inflation, I would be losing 700k on this like 40 SU of Continuum, which for normal gameplay, when everything is normal, right, without inflation, that's a big amount of money. So yes, this is very bad. So this is basically what I want to show you. And now we're getting to the third thing, which is also connected to all these things, why this is actual value altogether to do, but from the 4.7 patch. Now let's talk about third thing. So what is the third thing? It's rewards in these mining missions. We still don't have any type of rewards like blueprints, for example, and this we are going to get in 4.7 patch. So we don't have to judge, too much that this was, just first version of these, missions. They just started in 4.6 patch. These rewards will come in next patch, right? So we don't have to think about too much about that. So this is actually the way how developers will actually force you passively to do these missions or the blueprints. It's not gonna be about the money, it's gonna be about the blueprints. But anyway, if you're doing mining, you really want to earn the most that you can. So these prices needs to be pushed up, like in much bigger values. This is all ridiculous what you can earn now, because mining cannot get in basket with any other type of mission. It always needs to give the most money from everything else because it's most job to do. That's the difference. So you can't compare this with anything else. It's one more thing that I need to mention, and this is when you're going from head contractor to elite contractor, the missions are not changed. You're not getting new missions. So basically these two levels are like one big level, and when you reach elite, it instantly fills up the bar full. So you don't have to keep ranking, this bar till the end. It just fills up completely, right? You just need to enter the elite and you're, instantly elite contractor. That's the thing. And one more thing I wanna, put your attention on something. When you're doing these mining missions, in 4.6 patch, we have problem with these freight elevators. And unfortunately, between 1/3 and 1/4 of all missions what you're gonna do, they're going to fail. So how to know when fishing is failed? So when you lower down the stuff, when you take the mission first and lower your ore down, you're gonna see the writing where it says, 4 from 4 ore delivered, right? And it's gonna be with green letters. If this is with green letters and it doesn't want to end, you cannot do anything about it. You just can, abandon the mission and take the next one. Because these old things work like they work, you can just, buy now commodity ores for, millions and just deliver. Doesn't matter for that when you lose it, right? But when you reach head contractor and you're gonna be mining Continuum, for example, you're gonna be losing every time 4 SU for Continuum. So that's a very bad thing. So basically, I lost maybe like 50 missions, maybe to 70 missions, around that number, constantly abandoning, the missions because they cannot finish. And if you don't abandon it, you cannot get the same mission on the same spot. So you need to abandon it. And automatically with that, you're losing ore. The two big things why people, giving up on these missions is because of this losing ore, because of freight elevators. And the first reason is because you're just not earning enough money to this be worth it to do, right? But these missions will push players to play next patch where players are gonna get blueprints, you know, with ranking up, we're doing these missions continuously, and this is how you're supposed to do these missions, right? It's for blueprints, it's not for money and income, it's for blueprints. So this is how this work. And guys, don't be fooled that even if you just buying for huge amount of money these commodities and just deliver them to finish mission like that, you're gonna do that very fast. No, 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 it's still gonna take you huge amount of time. And normally on the end, you still in head contractor, you actually need to mine these ores, like Ceruleum, Stellaron, Receipt, and Continuum. And basically this is around, to just reach from head contractor to elite, it's around 130, 150 missions. So times 4, right? So this is around 700, 800 ACU continuum, what you need without abandoning the missions. So you need maybe around 1000 ACU of continuum to do this. It's like you were almost collecting for bits for Polaris or for Idris. So it's a lot of mining involved in just that one rank, with not even touching all the first rank. And when I was doing this, I was actually mining first, 2-3 ranks. I didn't buy, I would just keep mining, right? And then I was, doing like next 2-3 levels of ranks with buying commodities and delivering. And then when I reach head contractor, then I was, start to mine again. But we're supposed to mine completely to all the ranks, and not just, the highest ones. It's just ridiculous, Mining needs to be about mining strictly, so it's gonna push players to try mining, push players to grind towards mining ships, so players can learn to mine, so they can get experience through something. Because if you don't push them, everybody is always gonna go the simplest and the most fastest way. And mining is opposite of that. It's the longest way and the most complicated way. So that just doesn't work.
I think I explained enough about this, ranking and mining missions in 4.6. We're gonna see how it's gonna be in 4.7, but basically we're gonna do this for blueprints. That's the fact, and it's not for the money. So this is all, guys. And normally if you find this all information, informative and interesting, please share this with other players so they're gonna know, what is this all about. And normally subscribe to my channel for more content. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.